Hello, Minecraft. So, welcome. I am really excited to come to you guys today with a brand new spotlight. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a spotlight of XYCraft pre-release. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is a pre-release for XYCraft. Okay, so let's get started without much to do. Alright, I've just filled out this little area here. Ignore that building in the background. You'll see what it is in a minute. So the first thing I'm going to show you guys are these things called viewers. Viewers, cool, huh? Yeah, these are the connected texture blocks. They work a lot like, Thaumcraft's Warded Glass, except they are significantly cheaper. As you can see, it's just a glass around a piece of iron, gets you all set, ready to go. Much cheaper than the Warded Glass routine. So, we have this nice wall here. I don't know how explosion resistant it is, but it's pretty decent. Okay, so let me show you the next item on our list. Right here, we have the soil planter. XYCorium soil. Alright, XYCorium soil is crafted like shown. Just some saplings, some green engineering brick, and an iron ingot gets you two of them. You guys don't need to see the recipe for an iron ingot. The engineering brick is 4 green XYCoridite, so that's the smelted XYCorium. 4 stone bricks and a piece of redstone in the middle. Gets you how much? 4. So this gets you 2. Okay. So let me just show you how this works. This stuff is pretty cool. Basically, what it does is it doesn't prevent, but it satisfies all conditions needed for plant growth. Alright? So, and you guys will see in a minute while I'm stacking these. Because they're awesome. Absolutely and utterly terrific. Just going to build out a little platform for them right here. Okay. Now let's get ourselves, a couple seeds. Seeds go there. Let's get ourselves some corn kernels, maybe. Put some of these right here. Let's get ourselves some... I wonder if flax works on these. Flax works. And then let's do the amazing thing. Okay, no, flax doesn't work. Flax pops back out. Let's put down some sugarcane. Notice how I can plant these guys without any water blocks nearby? Oh, wow, look at that. That's already growing. So basically what these do is they satisfy all conditions needed for vanilla and XYCraft planting, I believe. I don't know about flax. Apparently it doesn't quite work. But what they'll also do is the more you stack them, the more it will encourage their growth. So it'll speed up how quickly they grow. Nice, huh? I certainly like it. Alright, I'll be right back. Show you the next part of this amazing mod update. Alright everyone, so what have I built here? Well, let me show you. Trust me, it is not the world's least privacy-concerned house. It is actually something far cooler. Okay, so let me just get up with my gravitation engine, and of course I ball. Okay, fix this. What am I doing here? Oh, right. I'm putting these items in. These are called valve blocks, because this, ladies and gentlemen, is a XYCraft multi-tank. Now, you may have already noticed it looks a lot like the iron tanks, except I made it with stone bricks. That's weird. Well, rest assured, guys, these are stone bricks. There is nothing special about these bricks. And there's also nothing special about the viewer panels. Hell, you don't even have to use viewer panels. You could use anything. I'm just doing it because it looks cool. So you place it, and you right-click on the valve, and boom, you have a multi-tank. This multi-tank can store 1,120 buckets. Christ, that's a lot of buckets. And the really cool thing is, you can do this with any item. So, for example, I could go 1, 2, 3, block, multi-tank. 32 buckets, multi-tank. Yep, multi-tank. I have a multi-tank. In the ground, took me 2 seconds to build it. No iron required. Nice. Well, actually it takes some iron. These require engineering bricks, an empty bucket, and some iron bars. So yes, it does require some iron. But for the ease of construction, this is pretty awesome. Now the other cool thing about this is, if I can get down underneath it for a second, So I have this block here, right? Well, let's say I just want water in this. Well, we can use a XYCraft water block, which is right over here. And this, if you just place it underneath the valve, will actually start filling the water, the tank with water. Nice. Now for a tank this big, it's kind of silly, but I kind of like it. Actually, I really like it. Now the other cool thing about this is, let's say I get myself some liquiducts, all right? Liquiducts. And I'm just going to put them in right. You can see the multi-blocks updating. That's a rendering bug. That's interesting. That's probably actually from Optifine, honestly. So let's get a portable tank. Let's just... Come on, Minecraft. Throw it up there and give it a good old whack with the wrench. Let's give it... Wow, I can't Minecraft today, guys. I'm sorry. Give this a good old whack like that. And let's get ourselves a lever. Right, except I can't place the lever on glass viewers. Well, wait. Why is nothing flowing out? One of the interesting properties with multi-tanks is that they have to wait until the item... They have to wait until the level of the liquid reaches the level of the valve you're trying to pull out from. So this won't work until this fills up. Now this may seem like a downside, but I actually really, really like it. Basically, this means that I can keep a reserve of whatever liquid. Oh wow, look at that. That already grew. Nice. I can keep a reserve of any liquid I want to in there. And never have to worry about sharing it, because I know that I'll always keep a half a tank reserve level. Nice. I really like that. Let me show you other cool things you can do with this water block. Oh, right, I almost forgot. These things have an interface. You can throw a bucket in, it'll be emptied, or throw a bucket in and it will be filled. Nice. I like it. Okay, so I can also get myself some more of these water blocks. And let's get ourselves a lava bucket. I'm sorry about the ringing in the background, guys. And let's just... Now, most of you guys are very familiar with cobble gens, right? Right. I think everyone is painfully familiar with those suckers. So one of the downsides of a cobble gen is oftentimes that the water ends up flowing and it's not as precise as you'd like it, and it never quite works right. And, you know, the usual complaints. Just to make this cool so you guys can see what's going on, let me use viewer plates here. There we go. So now we have our water block down there, and let's put our lava bucket down. What do you guys think is going to happen when it hits that water block? Cobble. That's right, folks. This acts as a water source. For example, if I break that again, except it's not going to flow anywhere. So in theory, I could have actually built this cobble gen like this. And because it's not going to flow, I never have to worry about it solidifying that obsidian. Nice. Alright. Now that that's done, let me pull some things together and I'll show you guys the next part of this. Alright everyone, the next item I'm going to show you guys, if I can get some stone bricks back out here, I really like building with these, is... What am I doing? Oh, right, I'm showing you guys cool stuff. At least I hope I am. Either that or I'm boring you all to tears, I don't know. Okay, so let me just put this together like so. Nice and simple. You guys can probably already guess this is going to be a liquids demonstration by how I'm building this. Okay, so let's say you have a way to harvest ice. It would help if I turned on my gravitation engine, right? And you want to get a lot of ice. Well, there's no way to do it. Zirconium ice. See, it just solidified that into ice. Now, if you say had a pick with feather thingy. Yes, feather thingy. I'm being horribly precise today. Let me just get myself a screwdriver and a lever to see if this works. I've actually never done this before because there really isn't any good way to generate ice nowadays. Right. So anyways, this item basically allows you to generate ice. I'm kind of screwing around here just trying to get this to work for my own amusement, but, you know, you guys don't mind watching me mess around a little bit, right? Right. Okay, yeah, I hope you don't know any, right? Otherwise, you really shouldn't be watching me, right? Some stone jack wire. And some red alloy wire. Plop that down, and where'd that lever go? Okay, that doesn't seem to work, but... yeah, it just destroys the ice, doesn't pick it up. But if, for example, you had a, I don't know, a pick with feather touch, whatever it's called, silk touch. If you had a pick with silk touch, that would probably work a lot better. You could harvest ice for a nuclear reactor and have it work perfectly nicely. Beautiful. Let me show you another block. I have it back here. This block is a fire basin, crafted like so. Red engineering brick, stone, either lava, gunpowder, lava cells, lava cans, you get the point. It's really expensive, tech-looking netherrack. That's basically all it is. I don't think it responds to a redstone signal. I don't think it's like the RP2 igniters, but nope. Alright, so that's, let's see here. We have our different blocks, we got our planters, we got our tanks. I am so happy about this tank. Oh, okay, this should be almost at its halfway point soon. And when that happens, you guys will probably be able to see it filter over into here. So let me just make sure I'm not forgetting anything, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, there was something I was forgetting, and it is called the Liquid Void. Now this is basically it's a void block for liquids, and it doesn't appear to hook up to pipes. Oh, see, that is going. It's not. There we go. And it's filling that up nicely. See? And now this should continue to fill up. But what happens if I disattach that and throw liquid void onto it? You can see it's perfectly capped there. That liquid void is simply destroying any liquids that pass into it. Alright, I don't really understand why you need it, but okay. You might. So here's a tank I have that's all filled up with liquid. Yeah, I used a filler to clear this, and tape's still there. So let me break that, and I'll be back in a minute to show you something else cool. Alright everyone, so now I have two tanks adjoining a wall with a valve in between. When I create this thing, what do you think is going to happen now? If you guessed they're going to balance themselves out, you'd be entirely correct. So the maximum size is a 12 by 12 by 12 of one of these, so a 12 cube. But if you really wanted to, you could make it as big as you wanted just by stacking them together. And seeing as how they're so cheap, I mean, this thing's incredible. I mean, this thing's really, really incredible. Alright, so there's one more block I have to show you guys, but first, I gotta go and figure out how the hell it works. Be right back. Alright everyone, so as far as I can tell, this item, the item IO, item input output for those of you who are not programmers, which is green engineering bricks, some bars, and a chest, basically allows tubes and pipes to connect to the tank. So if I'm not mistaken, and I throw a relay onto the end of this, and I just chuck a bucket in the relay. It should stick. Interesting. Well, now this is interesting. I'm not entirely certain what this item even does. Like, I'm really not. Alright, everyone, after fumbling around in the dark for a while, I finally figured out how the hell this thing's supposed to work. The wiki isn't very well updated right now, so here we go. You have to put the IOP unit in the wall of the tank. Yeah, it has to be in the tank wall itself. Once you can hook up your pipes, your tubes to it. For example, if I empty this back out again, put it in this chest, flip this lever, you'll see it travel out and zip into here. Now I could pull it back out if I had a retriever somewhere along here. So that's pretty cool. I like that. Once it's in place, you don't seem to be able to edit it at all. So yeah, unless I maybe move this. No. Wait, nothing in my hand. Yeah, okay, so I can edit this now. And connect that. Oh, interesting. Okay. This is like thermal expansion. That's the only thing I can say. See? Goes right in there. And if I moved this again, and I got myself an empty hand, I could shift, and this time it'll put it in there. Okay, this is making sense to me now. Sorry, guys. Little confused. Okay, so if I drop that in there and I pulse this, this will get put in here, but it won't do anything, right? Right. There's no place to put it. Okay, this is making a hell of a lot more sense than it did initially. And then, so it goes white, blue, orange, white. And that white will let it place anywhere. Blue will let it place here. So if, for example, I had another item IO, and I recreate this, right, okay, go. And then I put my redstone tubing, I'm just using redstone tubing because that's what's in my inventory. And then I got an empty hand, and I reconfigured this thing to orange, right? Right, okay. So I drop this bucket in here, right? And I pulse this. So then this goes into here, and now it's in the orange slot. So if I got myself another filter and another chest, and I put the filter up here, the chest right behind it, and I reoriented it to actually face in. That should be correct. And then I got myself a lever. No filter, not what I want. Wait a second. That's interesting. Put that in there. Shoot this through, right? Right, okay. That should be in there, nice and easy. And then just toggle that. No? I thought that would work. Like, you don't understand, I really did think that would work. Maybe? No. Okay, guys, I'll be right back. Alright, guys, that worked. It just dropped it directly into an inventory next to it. So if I put, if I got myself a chainsaw for a second. Chainsaw, there we go. Ring-a-ging-a-ging, ring-a-ging-a-ging. There we go. Okay. I put the relay down I was experimenting with earlier. I flip it. And then I put some redstone tubing in here, and I put one of these chests over here, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, it looks good. Okay, so then if I put my empty bucket in here, what you should see happen is that should come out, and then it should immediately be ejected as a filled bucket. There we go, guys. Alright, so that is the item IO. It took me damn long enough to figure it out, didn't it? Okay, let me just make sure I haven't forgotten anything else, and I will be right back. Guys, how could I forget this? I completely forgot the most exciting thing in XYCraft so far. Ladies and gentlemen, let me show you something awesome. I present to you the Fabricator. Okay, the Fabricator is made with some light red, dark, or any engineering brick, some stone, a crafting table, and some iron. And what it does is, it's a crafting machine, basically. But the really cool thing is, let's say I wanted to make some bog earth. Well, I could just go to recipe, right? And I can click this button and that usually paints it. Well, except here, it's actually in the table. So let's say, for example, I put some water buckets in here, and then I put some dirt, a bunch of dirt. Let me just restart my inventory for a second. And a bunch of sand. Whoa, where's it all going? Where did it all go? Well, I can give you guys a simple answer. If I put my lever right there, you'll notice I'm out of buckets of water. What the heck happened? You, ladies and gentlemen, are seeing the wonders of the auto crafter. Okay, put that in like that. Let me just put in some redstone pneumatic tubing. And watch. You have 2 water buckets in there. Now this thing, it has several methods. Auto low, so it'll do its thing whenever there's no signal. Auto high requires a signal, and pulse. It'll make per signal, I guess. If I flip this, see the recipe shows up, and what did it do? It made the bog earth, guys. Like, it made the bog earth. So now if I'm just going to put a red, some stone jacketed wire, a piece of red alloy wire, and a timer. Notice what's happening. Oh, for heaven's sakes. You know, guys, this is one of those it would have helped if moments. Yeah, it would have helped if I remembered to do this. And let me just connect, because I screwed up my system here because I'm an idiot. There we go. So now what's going to happen is we should see the buckets traveling along, and this machine is just going to continue to make me bog earth as long as it has the materials to do it. And I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Perhaps it's had to be a little weird on me. But as long as this thing has the materials to do it, this machine is going to produce bog earth for me. Now, this is actually really awesome for me, and here's why. This machine is just going to keep going and going and going. And all I need to do is supply it sand and dirt. And as you can see, the buckets keep filtering along. So if I just got myself, let's say 16 buckets, and dropped them in here, course, I could have also placed another I/O expander right here and hooked my system up that way. But isn't this awesome? And this will pull from adjacent chests, but even more importantly, it'll actually pull from adjacent, if I get more fabricators. Oh, I already have a bunch. It'll actually pull from adjacent fabricators. So what's a nice long chain recipe I can think of here? Oh, I know one. Okay, so let's say this guy's going to make a furnace. You're making a furnace. You're making a battery. And you're making a machine block. Alright. And you in the middle, you're making a generator. If I can find the damn... There we go. Generator. You're making a generator. So if I give you tin... Oh, let me just resort this. If I give you tin, redstone, and copper cable, that's going to start producing that. You can see the recipe shows up there. If I give you cobblestone, and I give you refined iron, we should find happens in the middle. Oh, we're having this issue again. RE. This guy's made me generators. Nice. So as you can see here, this is a very powerful block. It actually makes peat bogs a lot easier. As you can see, I've already run out of dirt, but I have plenty of bog earth in there. And ladies and gents, this has been XYCraft, the latest update spotlight release thing. There was a bug fixed, actually, in the amount of time it took me to record this video, which was considerably longer than it looks like on YouTube. There was already a bug fixed with Multitanks. So make sure that if you've downloaded it in the first hour or so it was released, make sure you re-download it, otherwise you could have some issues with multi-blocks. Alright guys, I will see you all later, and thank you very much for watching. Please remember to review, rate, subscribe, post on my forum thread, and basically be a nice person. Alright guys, happy mining, and enjoy the new functionality in XYCraft.